Hello, everybody.
Hi. Welcome. We're back.
Yes, what is it today? June 16th?
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
It is the 16th today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Please, everyone tell me if my microphone sounds okay today. I think
yeah. Yesterday,
I
you were underwater.
There was nothing, I didn't do anything today. It sounded fine, so I just want to be sure that it stays fine.
Hello, Scott and Gerald.
Hey, Scott.
Very excited about our show today. I love me some fossils.
I love some fossils, too.
What did you do today, Cory?
Turn this light up a little bit. Sorry, it looks really dark in here.
Is it because you have the sock on it?
The condom on it?
Well, I was trying to be. Let's see.
It should spread the light out a little bit more, but it's a little better. Sorry, what was the question?
I don't know. I asked you what you did.
Oh,
Angela is saying hello.
Hello, Angela. I didn't do much. I got a lot of stuff together for today. That was really about it.
Oh, there's Ross. Hey, Ross.
Sound much better. Thank you.
Gerald, you went to camp yesterday, right?
And YouTube is actually green almost off the bat. So it was red for half the stream yesterday. Don't know what that was all about.
Oh, look, there's Kurt.
Hey, Kurt. What up?
Fossils.
And Derrol, how was your morning?
Oh, it was pretty good. I went to work today. I drove for the first time in 3 months, which was interesting. It was nice going to work. There was nobody. On the way home, there were some dummies.
Yeah, they're always out there.
But it was good. I got to see Taro and Ranger, my
I saw your picture.
Dog friends. I have a picture to show later if, we talk about it again. So that was nice. And, getting back into the office and rearranging some stuff and getting ready to,
Get back into the swing.
What'd you do today? Did you say?
I did say. I said I didn't do got this stuff together. It's funny because Derrol has had so many comments after we do these Zoom style or today we're using FaceTime, which would be very interesting. I've never used FaceTime for something like this before. Mm-hmm. So, bear with us if things go awry, but I think we got it dialed in. But, he sees other people's streams and he's like, why can't we do that? Can we do that? What are they using to do that?
I'm not saying why can't we do that. I'm just wondering what systems that they're using to do that. Because you're doing something very different than what some other people are doing that I've been watching. So I'm just curious because I'm curious.
Well, I generally try to steer away from like the cookie cutter ready made graphic, like with the 2-up, and like the little frames. But I did one of those today for Derrol to see what he thought, and I had I'll show you maybe later. I still have it loaded up here, but have 2 pictures, and this background kind of faded out, but it's not live. It's just a photo.
Well, I also found that to be distracting because there were actually 4 different panels, and the smaller you get stuff, the harder it is for people to see. I'm thinking cross-platform, where I'm also thinking people are watching it on their phone screen.
It wasn't any different than this. The 2 pictures would be up at the top. Well,
wasn't there a 4th one?
There was a 3rd one here, which is going to be what I have for photos up at the top.
Right.
And I think what threw you was they were just frames around them.
I just think making the chat smaller and then the 3 windows smaller.
The chat was exactly the same size.
Oh, shush it. It was not.
Yes, it was.
I don't know about that. I'm going to have to re-look at that again. You got me when I was half awake.
And I knew...
But I like the choice we're going with today better.
Well, I preferred what we're going with today better.
Because it like highlights them. It seems like they're right here.
I like that we are on the sides and we don't move.
Us.
Because otherwise we go really small.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Bigger is always better, Cory.
Not always. What did Derrol can't tell you?
Sure.
Yeah. Please do.
Elizabeth.
This shirt. I shouldn't.
We've missed you the past couple days, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth. Is John there too? Or is John working? What time is it? 5:06.
5:06. And you're wearing your fancy cactus shirt?
Yeah, it's clean. I did laundry. Thank you. I've been waiting.
Sure. Whilst cleaning the office, I found some cutwaters today.
Oh, yes. Derrol he usually brings these home from work, a client of theirs.
That's splurged everywhere. Pardon me if that got on you.
Today I am bravely drinking, because I don't think I've had this one before. It is a grapefruit paloma, which is tequila.
And grapefruit. Did you say grapefruit?
I did.
Oh, I don't know where I am right now.
Youth group, played outside, got a football in the face.
Oh no! Hopefully you don't have a black eye or anything. That's the worst. I remember getting a baseball to the face one time.
Or
at super top speed and just about broke my jaw off my face.
Or the embarrassment that could come from it, which, happens. I've been hit with a ball in the face.
Mine's Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Water from a can.
Water from a can. That's a question mark. No, it's alcohol and sparkling seltzer. Seltzer.
Yeah. And mine is the spicy Bloody Mary. And
I can smell it.
It is spicy.
Phew. I'm scared. All right. I'm gonna try.
Oh, that's right.
It's all right. It's not fantastic.
Oh, good Lord. They got me right here. Ooh, Mountain Dew. I haven't drank that since high school. I remember this one time we were studying at my friend Beth's house. We were drinking coffee and Mountain Dew all night long.
I'm sure that was a crazy mess.
That was probably the last time I drank it. That's my life in general. Just a football in the face. Ross. I look like I got a football in the face because of this dang.
We both do.
We do.
I mean, I don't know what happened, but we both broke out within this a week of each other. I had one square. I'm sure you can see it, square in the middle here, and then one up to the. It's hard to tell.
You just got a sympathy zip, so I wouldn't feel so bad, right?
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened.
Good friend. You're such a good friend.
Yeah, I know. Always thinking about you, Derrol.
I know.
Are you?
Well, hopefully the youth camp was good, aside from the football, Gerald.
Yes, I hope so too. Builds character.
I used to actually do the a
terrible dad.
A couple times I did the youth gym stuff. What are you looking at?
I don't know. That just came up. I've never seen that.
Oh, I can't read this.
I don't know what it said. It was not something that looked good though.
Uh-oh.
Just got an error on screen, everyone. So
how many tattoos?
Coding overloaded. Consider turning down the video settings.
Uh-oh.
How is that happening? That's never happened.
I think I'm in the realm of 30-ish. My chest pieces are all connected now. So that is a big one. I think it's somewhere in the range of 30.
30 tats?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't counted in quite some time. I'm definitely due for some more. Did you turn down the bits per second?
Yeah. Maybe that's because FaceTime's up in the background.
Oh.
That's weird.
Breaking everything, Cory. I'm gonna fry the system. Do you know what tattoo, Gerald? I was only gonna get one. And then
And it spirals.
It does. I'm like, oh, well, I also wanted to get this one.
Hey, John.
John!
Well, Mr. D, are you
Yes.
going to do introductions today?
Why do you always do that when I'm not prepared?
Because I did everything else.
You can. You do. You do. You do you.
Okay. You sure?
Yes. Yes. We haven't watched it, Gerald, before. Have we?
Riverdale. No, I haven't watched it.
Mm-mm.
I did look it up when we talked about it last, and I don't know. Was it Archie? Who was it?
I think so.
I don't know that well enough.
Maybe that's what I'll watch after True Blood. I'm like on the 4th season now.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I'm willing to watch anything.
We gotta
but
something new.
Yeah, TV's been kind of abysmal lately. And I blew through that. What was that Amazon show I was telling you about? The Loop. Tales from the Loop. I blew through that in like
this is
2 days.
Good lord! It's like drinking hot sauce.
That's so funny that it's a Jugheads too. That's like a 50s thing, right? Wasn't it a cartoon in the 50s, 60s?
Archie, Cory.
Archie. Sorry. Jughead was on Archie.
Yes. All right, take it away, Cory.
Oh, excuse me.
That wasn't what I meant. I didn't mean scare everyone away.
All right, I'm gonna get set up here while we talk. I hope I don't mess everything up.
Uh-oh. Well.
That's why I wanted you to do it while
I
do all this, mister.
Oh.
All right.
Hello.
So, today, as everyone knows, or from past, we've been experimenting with having people on the show. It's been really interesting for me to learn how to maneuver all of this technology around getting someone on the show, like the error that's popping up down at the bottom here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good. And just overall, just to, try something new, because it's been, especially lately, we've been a full-on chat reply.
And also to help,
which is fun.
Help our friends in their business endeavors.
No, that too. Exposure is always good.
Yeah. Some exposure.
Yeah. So today we have Bretton Carter on, and Derrol actually introduced me to him. That's why I wanted you to introduce him, because I only know him through Instagram. And
I just didn't know if you had said you were going to say something specific, because in the beginning you were like 3 things, and then I don't know.
So we're going to bring him on. He's just waiting in the wings here.
Yep.
Let me unmute before we actually bring him on, everybody.
Anybody I can talk fossils with, I get very excited to make friends with.
All right, here he is.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna, if I interrupt for anything, just to let you know, we are getting some weird errors over here I've never seen before. So,
Yeah, I saw that.
Derrol might do a little talking on the side while I try to figure stuff out.
Oh.
I gotta pull this bit rate down or something. But anyway, how are you? You're in Massachusetts, right?
I am. I'm 3 hours in the future.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, getting your volume up here.
No, it's okay.
And I love your Instagram page. It's so much fun.
Thank you. I get that a lot. It's funny because my Instagram, as of like 3 months ago, was pretty boring, and then I decided to switch it up recently, and it exploded overnight. So
I never thought your Instagram was boring.
What was that?
I never thought your Instagram was boring. I loved all your fossils and stuff you post all the time.
Yeah, but it just didn't resonate with people when I was posting only fossils, but then when I switched to the educational thirst trap, that's like when it blew up. So definitely sticking with that for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's something people respond to. I mean, I love to learn new things.
Well, yeah, I mean, Instagram is very people-centric, too. So, like, their algorithm is really built to show people off, not things. So, as soon as I started getting, like, half naked in front of a camera holding up a fossil, that's when people started to respond.
Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
How funny.
Yeah, I went from having 3,000 followers to 13.2K as of today. So
that is so crazy. And you said like what, 3 or 4 months?
About 3 months, yeah. I think so. I didn't really start changing my content up until the pandemic, because I was forced to stay inside and, like I was bored.
Derrol, say something. People are saying your mic isn't working.
Yeah, I can't hear him at all.
Thank you. Hold on, let me figure out why. Derrol's mic. Where's Derrol's mic? Audio input.
Oh, excuse me.
Hello?
There's Derrol.
Am I back? Yay.
Derrol's mic. Yay.
I can't hear him.
You still can't hear him?
Cory's always trying to silence me.
What?
Cory's always trying to silence me.
I know I'm partially deaf.
Derrol talks into it. He wasn't on, but he's very quiet in a microphone.
Hello, James.
Okay.
So if you guys still can't hear him, let me know, but I think we got it. So I don't know if Derrol wants to show you his fossils first, or if you want to show your fossils first.
I could do that. I have some of them I've actually already shared with you because, as I said, when I can talk fossils with somebody, I'm like, oh my God, let's talk about these fossils.
And walk them up.
Huh?
Walk them up.
Instead of pictures?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have to walk in front of you?
Just go over to the side so you can... Yeah, you got it. The other side. The other side. Like you usually do.
There we go.
Oh, here?
Oh my God. Yes.
Now you're way off screen,
Go
too.
but closer to his frame.
Oh, because yes,
Because he's squatted in.
And now, like the fossil you have right where my square is, so I can't see it.
Dang it.
Well, all right, let's
Like,
just go.
straight down here.
Let's move on to him then.
All right, yes, let's just show his stuff. Because Cory has the screen all trimmed, so I don't really know where I'm standing.
Yeah, and what he sees is just FaceTime.
Yeah.
But we'll put some pictures up afterwards down over the chat.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I have quite a bit to show. I would have had more, but I am now babysitting my dog who decided to eat painkillers. And I had to bring him to get his stomach pumped, and he is not having a fun time right now. So I'm up here with him.
I'm sorry.
We're no stranger to this. Like, he eats everything, so I have to be more diligent about not dropping pills. So I don't know where you want me to get started. Should I introduce like who I am, what I do, or?
Please, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so I am Bretton Carter. I am a paleontologist with a PhD from the University of Glasgow. You can find me on Instagram at FossilDaddy. I mean, unless you don't want to see me half naked, but there's a lot of fossils too, a lot of mixes of me with my shirt off and fossils, kind of like the ones I'm going to show you. Also, paleontology should never be confused with archaeology, because that's the fastest way to get me to punch you in the face. So the difference between paleontology and archaeology is paleontology is the study of fossils, and archaeology is the study of human civilization, which I find pretty boring, because fuck people.
Right.
But you both dig.
Huh?
But you both dig.
Really. We don't really, though. I think archaeologists dig more than paleontologists do. We split more rocks open. They do the digging. So, because like fossils will always be found in sedimentary rock deposits. They're not going to be found in the dirt. So that's more archaeology than paleontology.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so paleontology, we have hammers, and we split rocks open, and sometimes heads when they call us archaeologists. So I'm going to get started and show off a small bit of my collection. Everything here is self-collected. I've been to 2 different countries. and I've been to every single state. But not all states have fossils, so just keep that in mind. So I guess I'll start first with one of my more important finds. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a fossil dinosaur footprint.
Yeah, I see it.
You see the footprint in the middle?
And I collected some.
So this one,
I collected some photos from your Facebook page too. I think I'm going to put those up in the corner. You probably won't be able to see them.
Like my personal Facebook or my business Facebook?
I think it was your business Facebook. It's basically like these, your fossils.
Yeah. So the business Facebook page is pretty much dead. Instagram is where I'm most active right now.
Well, it was the Facebook page I've been talking to you through.
Oh, then my personal.
Is that okay to show those?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was going to pull some off of Instagram too, but it's so much harder to get a photo off of Instagram, which is a good thing. But yeah. It's just. But please continue.
Oh no, it's okay. So this is a dinosaur footprint that I collected up in northeast Scotland. It's actually the very first footprint to come out of mainland Scotland. The very first one. So this is like a historical piece.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, it's approximately 180 million years old, which dates back to the Jurassic, and it was made by an unknown species of theropod dinosaur.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
How hard? I mean, how far do you have to? Where do you find them? Are they on the surface, and you just have to kind of brush some stuff off, or?
This one took me a long time to find because, like I said, dinosaur footprints had never been found in Scotland prior to 2017, and I was the first one to find them.
That's cool.
Crazy.
So
good for you.
Thank you. So what I did is I compared sedimentary rock outcrops that I found in northeast Scotland to those that I find in the Connecticut River Valley. And when I noticed that there was a rock formation that had trace amounts of silt and clay, I knew that it was perfect for trace fossils, such as footprints and body impressions. So I just took out my hammer, I took out chunks of the rock from the outcrop, and I started splitting them open. And that's on this guy, the very first dinosaur footprint from mainland Scotland.
That's awesome. Hi, Janine.
And I will show you one from right here in the Connecticut River Valley. I don't know if you can see that guy right in the middle.
Yeah, maybe pull it back.
Right there.
Pull it. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, yeah. It's all about writing. Yeah, so this is one I found last week in Connecticut.
That's so cool.
And this was made by a large theropod dinosaur in the early Jurassic, 200 million years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like just out in a park, or?
It's similar looking rock too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Connecticut River Valley rocks
are
a little bit darker, but one good way to figure out if you're going to find trace fossils is if you find trace amounts of mica or like shiny silt in the rock. That tells me that there was a trace amounts of clay in the rock when it was soft. So the way footprints really preserve is when a dinosaur came walking, it would have to dry really fast and then got buried quickly thereafter, preserving the footprint forever.
Wow. I always think we see footprints when we go out, but I'm sure that it's not.
You're in California, right?
Yeah.
So no. So California isn't old enough for dinosaur fossils to exist.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, so just like Cape Cod is not old enough for dinosaur fossils to exist. So when people tell me that they find dinosaur fossils in Cape Cod, I just want to smack them. They're just finding them as well.
You're oh yeah, tell me that story.
Oh, I have so many. Well, let me start with a real dinosaur bone that I found in France.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is called Rabidon. It was a herbivore that lived in what is now France and Spain. And that's really all we know that's really all we know about it because only a few specimens have actually been found. I think there's one complete specimen in Germany, and yeah, they don't know much about it. There is still a lot about certain species that we don't know. But one way that we do know that it was a herbivore is that the fossil bone is really solid, whereas if it were a theropod, kind of like T-Rex or a raptor, the bone would be hollow, kind of like a bird. And that's how we know that's a herbivore.
That's cool.
And then
John?
I've got this plesiosaur bone that I found in England.
John would like to know if your shirt's coming off today.
Mine? I mean, it could.
Don't put him on the spot like that.
I mean, it's funny because when I was on pause or whatever, I noticed that one of my arms was looking a little bit bigger than the other. So I was like doing a comparison, like it was a mirror. So I got to work on my left arm. Anyway, the plesiosaur bone I found in England. I found this in the town of Lyme Regis, which is probably where paleontology got its start in the Western world.
That's cool.
If you have any questions so far, feel free to let me know.
Do you know what part of the bone? What part of?
I don't because it's only a chunk.
Right.
I did have like a full paddle bone that I found in England, but then a guy offered me $13,000 right on the spot for it.
Oh.
So I gave it to him.
Yeah.
Only to find out that thing was worth maybe about $2 million.
Sure.
Shit.
Yeah, so that was probably the greatest regret in my
Oh no.
paleontological career. Actually, not. It's not the greatest regret. I have plenty, but that.
I would find it hard to sell my babies after I found them.
So I found that one really easily. Like it literally washed up during load, and then the guy saw me pick it up, and he ran up to me and said he'd give me $13,000, and I was just getting started, in my paleontological studies.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd find another one pretty easily. I found that one within 5 minutes. Why wouldn't I find another one? Never found another one. So
we do have a couple of questions in the chat. Janine says, does he find bones after digging? How does he find them?
Well, I don't dig. I split rock open. That's a big major misconception with paleontologists is that a lot of people think that we actually dig, but we don't. We go through sedimentary rock deposits. Sometimes we have to dig to reveal those rock deposits, but more often than not, they're out in the open. So it's really more about splitting rock. And what was the main question? How long does it take?
It was, and how do you find them? Do you have to dig?
So a lot of research. Fossils don't preserve everywhere, so it's really understanding the basic geology of the location you're in, understanding how old the area is and how old the rock you're working with is. And then you have to determine if it was above ground or underwater, and that'll determine what kind of fossils you may find.
Like you're not going to go somewhere where there's a lot of granite and find fossils.
No, you're not going to find fossils in granite. So people ask me a lot about rock hounding in New Hampshire. And New Hampshire is called the granite state for a reason. It's all freaking granite. You're not going to find fossils. You'll find plenty of crystals, no problem.
When you're probably somewhere specifically to look, not just walking around and...
So it's not really a matter of how I find them, it's the research and the effort I put in before I go looking. Because if you just start digging, you're not going to find anything because fossils do not preserve in dirt. I mean, they do, but you're not going to find them in the dirt because
this tiny little snail that I have right here, I was walking in where's that golf course? Like in Mission Valley or something?
Is it a snail or is it an animal?
It's a snail.
It is.
But I just happened to be walking and looked down and saw it sitting on top of the ground, I'm guessing it was probably brought in from somewhere.
So fossils can be found out in the open, but they have to erode out of their rock deposit for that to happen.
This was very sedimentary.
On the dirt, yeah. So it probably eroded from wherever. It probably eroded from wherever it preserved, and then just kind of tumbled and got tossed around to wherever it was that you found it. That does happen pretty commonly. But like, if you're gonna look for really like the impressive stuff, you have to do your research, and you have to understand how old the location is. You have to understand what's been documented there before, and that's really how you go about it.
Yeah. James says, "Wow, a man who really knows his bones." But he's commenting for a friend.
Well,
Janine, you can go.
I prefer to bury my bones, but
Janine, you can find clamshells around here that are fossilized. I found some clamshells that are fossilized.
Fossilized clamshells?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because California is approximately 2 million years old. Right. So you're going to find a lot of fossilized marine stuff from about 2 million years ago in the sandstones.
But like Wyoming is where you find a lot of dinosaur stuff, right? Wyoming area?
Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Utah. And then you'll find stuff that's even older than the dinosaurs, like Carboniferous plants. The Carboniferous period was about 300 million years ago. That's when life really started to take hold on land. Yeah. So there's actually a spot 5 miles from my house where I find early tree fossils and also early amphibians.
Cool.
So that was the Carboniferous. And then in Utah, you can find a lot of Precambrian stuff, which was from the Paleozoic, which was when life was starting to become more complex, about 500 million years ago.
Yeah, I think there's one spot out here that's pretty popular to go to in the Anza-Borrego Desert to find.
Also known as Shark-Tooth Valley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We've never been. We talk about going often, but...
Yeah, you can find fossil shark teeth there, kind of. You might not find megalodon teeth because the megalodon went extinct about 3 million years ago, and the fossils there are only about 2 million years old. But I do have some shark teeth to show. These are megalodon teeth that I went scuba diving for somewhat recently.
Cool.
Which is why I had an ear infection.
Oh no!
Yeah. So actually, these aren't even my biggest ones. I couldn't find my biggest tooth, and I'm pissed about that.
No. Yeah, those are cool too.
Yeah,
I'd love to go looking for them.
That actually reminds me of a question that I have that I've kind of wondered about before. So, the snail shell that I have is brown. But this particular fossil that wait, can I hold it up in front of this lamp? Can you see it here? Wait.
No,
I'm trying to put it somewhere.
It honestly looks like a butt plug from further away.
Yeah, it's just a black. It's black. So what makes this black? And some of the fossils.
I'd have to know where that was found. Oh,
it was found.
Bone.
It was found in Florida. Yeah, it's like a toe bone or something.
Yeah, where did you find it though?
It was found in Florida by my aunt when I was younger.
That makes sense. So Florida had really, really dark sediments about 3 to 4 million years ago. So a lot of the marine mammal bones, which is what that is, that's a marine mammal. A lot of the marine mammal bones that got buried absorbed the surrounding minerals that they were preserved in. So the minerals around them just happened to be darker, and that's why it's black. And your snail is brown because the sediment that it was buried in was brown.
Makes sense. Yeah, this is like my only fossil that I have that is like super black like this, and I was very curious about it because it's very odd.
It's very cool.
As soon as I realized it was a bone, I could tell immediately it came from Florida because Florida's really the only place where you can find fossilized bones that dark.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I'd go to Florida.
we just got Cory going to Florida finally.
Yeah, Florida's not great.
James in the chat asks, so when you find a tooth that large, what do you anticipate the size of the creature being, and is there a mathematic to it?
Yeah, so we determine the size of megalodon by comparing the size of a tooth to a great white in comparison to its overall size, and then we just kind of multiply it. So this guy right here, he is about 5.4 inches. So I can guesstimate that this shark was about 59 to 62 feet long.
Dang.
I think the longest that they got was about 69 feet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been watching. Go ahead.
I just said that's a big one.
And I can't remember their names right now, but I've been watching. There's like these scuba divers on YouTube that go down and find stuff off the bottom of rivers, and but they also do shark teeth hunting, which has always been interesting to me because I like minerals and mining kind of stuff in general. So anywhere I can go dig for stuff in a swampy area.
You guys mentioned Wyoming earlier, and I forgot to bring these guys up. So these are fossil fish that I found in Kemmerer, Wyoming 2 years ago.
Wow, those are beautiful.
Yeah, they're 50 million years old. This one, this is a very rare fish called Phariotis. You can't see it, but he has teeth.
Oh, cool.
Actually, there's a lot of detail in there. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And do you know how I got this out of the rock? So this is the original limestone. It's like a chalky limestone. And the way I found this fish is when I split the rock open, I saw a little piece of vertebrae, which would be this spinal cord right here, poking out of the rock. And I knew I probably had a complete specimen. So I took a push pin that you would put into your wall, like hanging up a poster, and I scratched this guy out for 3 months.
Oh my gosh, that's commitment.
So I actually have more fossils from this location that I haven't even bothered trying to prepare out of the rock because it takes so long. But I do plan on doing like a speed up video within the next week or two, and finally tackling those fossils. So
cool.
And that is
sounds like a commitment.
50 million years old. 50 million years old.
That's crazy. He is a paleontologist, Janine.
But this one I like because this one's like he cannot believe that he's about to die.
Cute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is it?
So,
it's like two.
Yeah, well, there are two fish on this, but this one in particular just looks so shocked that this happened.
Right?
Poor thing.
I do feel bad.
Hopefully he didn't feel a thing.
So do you, because they were on top of each other, do you think it was something where maybe something killed them and they fell over, or some sort of mudslide would have covered them?
The fossil fish of Wyoming, or the Green River Formation in Wyoming, are thought to have died out from an anoxic event, and that's when there's high levels of anoxia in the water, which means that there's not enough oxygen, so it pretty much kills them on impact. And that's why you'll find mass mortality plates in Wyoming too, where there's just like hundreds and hundreds of fossil fish right on top of each other. I have like a whole plate downstairs that takes up my entire wall, and there are thousands of fish on it.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's the same thing. It's like a bunch of fish that have died. I've had this ever since I was a kid. But there's one.
Where did you get that?
There was this rock shop on the edge of my town. And I used to go there, and this was like one of the first fossils I ever bought, and it's been my pride and joy. I mean, it has a good section of a fish on there.
Yeah, I really wish I could see it better, because I could probably tell you where it's from.
I do have a picture of it up close.
I can. Well, he can't see the pictures though, because he's not on YouTube or Facebook.
Okay.
We'll show you later.
Okay. Yeah. Then the next guy that I want to show you is a fossil ammonite that I found.
Love ammonites. That's huge.
Cool.
Yeah. So one thing that people always think these are, that personally pisses me off, people confuse them for snails. Like, have you ever seen a snail this big?
I wish. Oh my God, I would love a snail that big.
They're more related to the modern day squid. So if you could just imagine this guy had tentacles coming out of here, and he would kind of float through the water and just swim that way. Kind of like a modern day nautilus.
Nautilus,
yeah, I was
right?
just going to say that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this guy is about 150 million years old. That's, again, the Jurassic period. And I don't know how this one died, but he probably fell into an anoxic event or zone and just floated to the bottom.
So ammonites are pretty prevalent, right? I mean,
yeah,
you see those a lot. I don't see them that big very often, though. That one is huge.
I have one that's even bigger in my backyard.
Oh my God!
That thing cost me almost $10,000 to bring.
I imagine.
It was worth it.
I was gonna ask that question. Like, when you find this stuff, like, what is the process for getting it home?
Okay, so usually when I'm like traveling, I bring like 3 luggage bags with me, and they're all on wheels because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. And I check them in, and there's usually like a 50 to a 60 pound limit. So I will literally use my clothes and wrap everything up. And
this is me. I do the same thing.
Everything else that I can't fit in my luggage, I usually ship home. But the last time I came back from the UK, my scale broke, and I didn't measure everything or weigh everything correctly. So there were a lot of fossils that I had to give up at the airport. So rather than give them up, I just kind of did like a free fossil presentation, like right in the middle of the airport, and all the kids came in, and I gave them all of their own little fossils. That was kind of sad for me, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, great advertising for you too, though.
Yeah, I got 400 like Instagram follows that day. So like,
perfect.
Super
when
smart.
I landed back in the United States, I realized my Instagram blew up, so that was nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we probably have about 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay, good, because I only have one fossil to show you.
Yes, please.
Good. Ooh,
That'd be this guy.
Ah, sweet. That's like one of my worst fears, but sweet.
Yeah, this is a prehistoric crocodile from the Cretaceous period. So that was the period in which the dinosaurs all died out. But actually, not every dinosaur died out. Dinosaurs are still living today.
Yeah.
And I wonder if anyone in the comments might guess like what those living dinosaurs are.
Do you hear that, everyone? We'll see. I'll let you know when they pile in here.
Everybody, living dinosaurs today?
It might take a minute. There's a little delay.
Actually, the
you
crocodiles.
Might see one in your backyard.
The crocodiles are what I remember most from
6 in our backyard.
So crocodilians are not classified as dinosaurs. They lived alongside them, but they're not dinosaurs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, kind of like how plesiosaurs and mosasaurs are also not dinosaurs. They're marine reptiles, and pterodactyls or pterosaurs are flying reptiles. They're not flying dinosaurs.
We have a birds comment from
yes,
Janine.
Birds. Birds. Are
John said birds too.
John
said birds too.
Yeah, so birds are actually classified as dinosaurs, and they were actually reclassified within the last 10 years as being reptilian. So birds are reptiles.
My chickens are definitely
the living
raptors.
Descendants of dinosaurs, and they're classified as dinosaurian. So, like, one of my favorite places to go look at dinosaurs in the modern day is the Burger King parking lot, and they're all eating French fries.
Right.
But this guy was not a dinosaur, crocodilian. I found him in Morocco. So he didn't have all of his teeth intact. I actually had to glue the teeth back into him because I was pretty careless when I was digging him out of the rock. Well, not digging, chipping him out of the rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like it would have been tough.
Yeah, he broke. He broke completely everywhere because I couldn't differentiate the difference between the bone and the stone. So as you can see, the top is like a dark brown, and the original stone is a little lighter, but not much. Like, so I thought I was still chipping into rock when I found this guy, and by the time I realized what I was doing, he was in pieces, in fragments, so it took me forever to get him back together.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah, thank you. You would never know.
No?
So this was actually not the main specimen that we were trying to extract from the rock, though. This was a juvenile. There was a much bigger one that ended up going to the Museum of Natural History in Luxembourg.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So that actually is another question I wanted to ask. Like, at what point, if you find things, can you keep them versus being required or having to give them over?
That's usually a good question too, because oftentimes when I'm talking about fossils anywhere, like either online or in person, I always have some like Karen like speak up and tell me that this thing needs to go into a museum, and I'm like, excuse me, Karen, no, because first of all, like museums have a lot of this stuff already. For instance, megalodon teeth. They're not as rare as people think they are, and museums will only take the top quality or the best quality stuff. So even if I were to donate all of my fossils to a museum, they may never see the light of day again because they already have specimens that are superior. So usually museum grade specimens I will donate for either further study or to be displayed. I will never keep them if they're museum grade unless it's a common specimen like this footprint. There were plenty of other fossil footprints that I found in mainland Scotland, so they could take all those ones, but this being the first, I knew I wanted it because it was my personal find. And then another...
Oh, nothing.
And then if fossils are deemed of scientific importance, that's another time where I won't keep it. If it's something that can be studied and should be studied, I will give it up for the study.
Cool.
Elizabeth is asking, approximately how long does it take for bone like that croc to turn to a fossil?
So typically 10,000 years is how long it takes for organic matter to fossilize. Like totally 10,000 years. Some people say 8,000, but I think 10,000. And that doesn't go just for bones either, because there is a difference between trace fossils and cast fossils, which is what we would call that. So like when you're finding fossil bones, it's important to remember that this is not the actual bone of the animal. So the way that preserved is that when the animal died, it obviously rotted underground, leaving a hollow cast, which was then replaced by other minerals. That takes approximately 10,000 years, but obviously the older the fossil becomes, the stronger it becomes in some cases. So like a lot of the fossil bones you find in California from marine reptiles, they're very brittle because they're not that old. Whereas the one you found in Florida preserved in a really rich material, so it's in great condition.
Oh yeah, that thing is hard as like...
Yeah.
It's like steel.
So because a lot of the fossils of California preserved in sandstone, they're going to be weaker generally. So
this snail is weird.
This
snail is very weird. It's almost like ironish. Like
so there were fossils that I found in Lebanon that were so weak that I actually used them as chalk on a chalkboard.
Oh my gosh. Actually, I have a trilobite that is like chalky like that.
Yeah.
And it would make sense if like it was kind of metallic, because that's a mineral. I mean, metals are in the ground all the time.
So I actually do have a fossil ammonite that was preserved in pure gold.
Ooh, those are cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I found that in England. And, you know, I thought it was pyrite because finding pyritized ammonites are pretty common. But this thing was like a really, really solid golden looking pyrite. So I had it looked at by a precious metal specialist. And he looked at it and he was like, there's no way this is pyrite. And he did a test on it and it was pure gold. It was a fossil that was preserved in pure gold. So that was a fossil that I found that would be of high monetary value, but ultimately I did donate that to the Natural History Museum of London, where it can be seen on display today. And it's only like that big.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't have, is a pyritized ammonite. I have a bunch of ammonites. I bought these.
Oh, I have a few.
I got this sliced one like at a thrift store for like $3 for like.
So that one so those come from Madagascar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have like tons of those.
I was like, oh yes, I'll take that for $3.
Preserved in a gemstone called agate, which is why they're so spectacularly preserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have some crystal in them.
Yeah, probably calcite crystals.
Yep.
Well, we also had some photos of your merchandise and other stuff up. So cool shirts.
Oh, yeah, I like the rainbow
Thank
shirt
you.
that you just posted. That's very
so
cool.
The shirts and stuff I designed myself too. So before I went into the sciences, I was actually an art major because I thought I was going to be a famous artist. That didn't pan out, but obviously I still have that design flair in me, which is what I am so limp-wristed.
Cool.
I also have this very real fossil.
It's from the land of Minnie.
There was a guy in T-Town that was trying to tell me that he found a Triceratops horn on the beach, and I tried to explain to him that there was no way that it could be Triceratops, because A, Cape Cod is not even 6,000 years old, and B, the only Triceratops fossils ever discovered are out in the Midwest, so how the fuck would it get to Cape Cod?
I've had that. I've had that ever since I was a kid.
You know, that's the thing too. Like, people will come to me for my professional opinion, and then when I tell them no, you're wrong, they'll argue with me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's fun.
John says, "Does a fossil have any organic material or just an impression?"
Well, I mean, there's the difference between a cast fossil and an impression fossil. So an impression fossil is actually called a trace fossil, and that's a different field of paleontology called ichnology. So I'm actually an ichnologist. I specialize in trace fossils like fossil footprints. But for the most part, the only organic matter that you're going to find in a fossil is the mineral. You're not going to find DNA. You're not going to find any like tissue. Everything has mineralized. And technically, minerals are organic, but you know they're not living organic. You know?
And isn't that why, like in Siberia, when they find actual like is it woolly mammoths or something that have been like frozen?
Those fossils are a little bit different. So like a lot of people would even argue that they're not even true fossils. They're just specimens that have been frozen for a few thousand years.
Right.
So like generally a fossil is 10,000 years or older. And a fossil is usually mineralized. And it's like the evidence of something that was once living in prehistoric times. And people tend to forget, but mammoths were walking on Earth when the pyramids were being built 2,000 years ago. So a lot of those specimens are not true fossils. They're just specimens at this point.
James says, I appreciate the knowledge and your expertise and your huge words.
In my what?
Your big words.
My big words. Okay. Supercalifragilistic.
He's a doctor, James.
I can't perform surgery, though. I am waiting for the day where somebody is having a serious illness and somebody asks if there's a doctor in the house, and I can just be like, I'm a doctor. Haven't happened yet.
But you're on your own for this one.
Yeah. Can't wait.
There are some very pointy fossils. Somebody could fall on one, and then you could help.
Oh, yeah, that's been me a few times.
See?
That's been me.
Well,
so actually, you can't see it because I tattooed over it, but I had a huge gash up my leg that was a result of me trying to rock climb to get to a fossiliferous lair in Australia. And I slipped, and I wasn't wearing protective gear, and I wasn't like on the rope like I was supposed to be, and I fell right on a sharp rock. That was like, I think, 238 stitches.
Ugh.
Oh, God.
Man.
Yep.
Good tattoo territory.
Yes. It's an unfinished tattoo, but, you know, pandemic.
Yeah, right. Well, I think that's all we got time for. 55.
Well, I could do this again because I have plenty to talk about.
Yeah. And if you're ever out this way, I don't know if you do get out here often to San Diego or California, please.
So the last time I was in San Diego, I was 8 years old. I went to the San Diego Zoo, which I'm now totally against. But I do travel frequently, so California could be my next stop.
Well,
But
I go to
only
Maine.
two
I go to
resorts.
Maine often, so I'll swing down and we'll look for fossils together sometime.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to take you out. And when I come to San Diego, you better be wearing short shorts. Like
Have
the
you been
shorter,
to-
the better.
Have you
I
been
wore
to
'em
the
today. You can't see them.
I can't see them.
I know. I had to crop the shot so we can get everything in.
Have you
I
been to
know.
the art and rock shops in Maine?
No. So I've only been to Maine once, believe it or not, and that was for a tattoo convention in Bangor, where I
Oh.
was selling thought. I got in a fight with a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that happens
Like
there.
a physical altercation, too.
Oh dear.
I got kicked out of that convention.
Uh-oh.
And
Wow.
he called me a fairy to my face, and
Oh.
it's true, but he didn't say that.
Right. Nobody needs to say that.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Any final words, Mr. D?
Yay, fossils. Thanks for talking fossils with us.
Yeah, no
Thank you
problem.
so
Thank you
much.
for
And-
asking me.
And
No, thanks
hold
for-
on. One more
Oh,
question.
we do have another fossil
Mhm.
question.
John asks, what types of fossils are in Oklahoma?
So you can find fossil trilobites. They died out about 285 million years ago, but I think the fossil record in Oklahoma actually dates back even further to 400 million years ago. But they're going to be really hard to prep. So once you find the rock, you really need like an air compressor with like a really a soft air pressure to get through that stone. I do know that there was a narrow seaway going through there in the Jurassic period, so you might find marine reptiles if you're lucky, if you happen to wander into that territory. Look up what is it called? The Harrigan Formation? Yeah, you'll find trilobites, brachiopods, stuff from the Paleozoic era. You won't find dinosaurs in Oklahoma, but you'll find marine reptiles from the same time period of the dinosaurs.
Trilobites
in
are
some
my favorite.
locations.
John, find me some trilobites.
I could go on.
That's okay. Go on.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where John and Elizabeth live in Oklahoma either to help, but I think they said it was. Oh, I forget. They did
They're
say
by
at
that
one
by
point.
that by that
Tell
casino.
them to look up the Harrigan Formation. That's probably one of the more famous ones because the trilobites there are really sought after. And to understand what a trilobite is, think of like a roly-poly that you might find in the backyard that kind of curls up when you scare it. That's what a trilobite looks like, only it was marine. It was like an ocean critter. Yeah, that's a trilobite from Morocco.
That is also why I have a little colony of pill bugs because I love trilobites.
So I have a trilobite that I found in Wales that's like that big.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I would
those.
love to see your collection.
Yeah, I would show you my collection if my dog didn't eat painkillers today.
Oh.
So
Aw.
that was actually kind of my plan, was to like kind of show you like downstairs, which I call my fossil studio. It's also the gym. But
Yeah, he has a
then,
fossil room, you guys.
This guy decided to eat some medication.
Oh.
And now
Another time, we would love to do that.
Yes.
And look all cross-legged on the ottoman, like nothing
well,
happened.
So they gave him something to help him with the nausea, and they told me that it might cause hallucinations, and I think that's what he's doing right now, which is why I have to touch him.
He's a cutie.
Thank you. He's just like he's tripping out, man.
He's like, what's on the wall?
I love those built-ins.
There's nothing there. Well, it was a pleasure.
It was.
Talking to
Thank
you
you.
Yes, thanks for being here.
All right, we'll chat later and show all Derrol's pictures of fossils to you so you can help identify them. Sorry we couldn't do that on here, but
No, it's okay. And next time I'll take my shirt off.
yeah. All right. I'll be looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
All right,
All right.
we'll talk to you later.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you. That was fun, guys.
That was fun.
I always love to talk about fossils. I'm kind of a dork that way. Like when I was a kid, I would always try to talk to my friends about fossils, and they're like, "Okay."
And we only dropped 238 frames. Yeah, FaceTime. I guess it eats up some memory.
That's what was the errors were?
I'm guessing because that never happened during Zoom.
So when it says it drops a frame, what exactly does that mean? Does it skip a little bit, like when people are watching it?
It could skip. And if there are frames right next to each other, it could totally jump. So, but I'm doing 60 frames a second right now, so 238 frames isn't a lot. Actually, it says 0.01%. But thanks, Elizabeth. That was cool. He's pretty awesome.
Yes.
You should go check out his page. He's we showed a lot of photos from his Facebook page, his Instagram. I think he favors his Instagram.
Yes. Fossil Daddy.
There's definitely a lot of cool fossils and like his digs. When he goes out just to the parks around his house, he posts. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I've always found that
jealous
as an interest.
Super jealous of all the trips he gets to go on. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that.
He's worked hard for it.
I would definitely be the one with like the 500-pound suitcase, because as you know, when I go to Maine,
you still are the one with the 500.
I still am that guy. I ship stuff home to myself. I'm like, I'm always like waiting to go through the. I'm always waiting to go through the line, you know, because they take stuff out. Like this year when I came home, I had like a Jesus head, like baby Jesus, and an angel head, and then like the girl took it out, and I was like. You know, I usually have some bugs or some rocks or like
it's just random
a bunch of weird stuff.
Good. Thanks, John. I'm glad it ran well. I obviously I forgot to add Derrol's. So the way this all works, I have to recreate a new scene and then add all the components that I want in the
Girl,
scene.
you are always creating a scene.
I didn't add Derrol's microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I was so worried about.
You're like, whoops.
I was so worried about Bretton stuff coming through that I didn't even think about yours.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Remember how early in the show you were like, I am always thinking of you? Lies, Cory. Oh, Elizabeth and John, we're very excited about your new house purchase.
Yes, I'm excited to see.
Yes, I'm very excited to see this. Your compound. Yeah. So can we show some of the pictures of the fossils that I currently have?
Yeah.
Are you guys interested in seeing the fossils?
We'll put them up because
currently back here.
We can ask him to watch later, and
true.
So go ahead and
most of them I know. Most of them I know what they are. The only one I really don't know for sure is the fossil that was found in Florida, because that's always kind of been a who knows. I've actually sent it to the natural history museums, and basically they've told me what Bretton said, that it's a marine animal of some sort, but it's like a toe bone, or you can actually see some of the breaks in the bone. It's kind of cool.
Get them ready there.
How close is the house to Windstar? Oh, for these guys, for John and what?
Get your pictures ready.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
All right, my pictures are ready.
Are they ready? Are they really ready?
Yep. They're little.
Just go with it.
All right, fine. This isn't my fossils, but I wanted to show you guys my dog friend Ranger that I got to see today. He's my work brother from my work family, you know. I was very excited to see him and his brother Taro today. Anywho, here's some of my fossils. As I said, I just bought these ammonites recently at a thrift store for like $3.
That's so crazy that they're.
I know. I was like, I will take those, thank you.
But you said they're pretty common, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
Not cut in half like that though.
No,
and the fact that they have the calcite
worked.
in them, and yeah. This is just another ammonite that is just, you know, not
beautiful,
not cut in half. This, my friend Zach got me. This is a clam. I researched this, but I forget from what period it is from. My friend Zach got that for me because he knows I love fossils.
That's a clam?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like I forget what kind it is. But it also looks kind of alienish.
Yeah, it totally is alien.
But look, you can see, if you look right here along the seam.
Oh, yeah. It's like the clam's tongue.
But I like it because it's also very, I think that's why I picked it for me, because it looks very like embryo-ish. Like it's alien or something, you know. That's the tiny snail that I found.
It is very heavy.
Right? It's kind of like it's iron almost, or metal of some sort. It's very odd. And then here's all the fish.
And then
No more and then.
No more and then.
Here's the fish, Bretton, if you are watching this.
Make it bigger, make it bigger.
Currently.
Yeah.
There's that one fish right there that, you know, this has always been one of my favorite fossils ever since I was a kid. I bought this. Like, I saved up my money to buy this. And
That's
like
super
she
cool.
let me put it on layaway. It was something like $26 or not. It wasn't that much, but you know, for a kid. But my friend Tony, you know, she would always talk about us to each other, but we never met until high school. And then we were like, oh, you're that kid that she always talked to me about.
Aw. Tony passed.
Yeah, my friend Tony passed
2
away.
years ago now.
It's just been a year.
Just
now.
been a year.
It'll be 2 years in February. There's another close up.
It was a roast.
I thought it was a roast. Do y'all frequent it for your for shows or anything? Oh, it does look like a ram's horn. This is trilobite. My friend LB bought this for me recently. There was a little pop-up like mineral in place beside the theater. Here's the bone from Florida. It's very difficult to take a picture of because, you know, it's so dark black.
You need to get it under these lights and really get a nice shot.
It's cool because you can see a couple cracks in it, like where it had cracked and maybe healed again. This is just a fake triceratops skull that I've had ever since I was a kid. It was like in my fish tank as a kid.
That's fun.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Oh, I guess I can take you off of there, huh?
So yeah. Fossils, love them. I have like a bunch of crinoids. It's like a fossilized coral that I wanted to show. I have like some that are like, it's like the floor of the sea, kind of, but it has like crinoid, like pieces of it all over it, but it's like a chunk.
I don't get it.
Well, it's like fossilized corals.
Like sand? Oh,
you know,
corals.
like, yeah.
Kind of like your barnacles all over
kind
the
of,
floor.
yeah. Right, Elizabeth? I'm so curious what it is because it's pretty big.
We'll
like,
get a nice shot of it and you can send it to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's definitely a knuckle bone of something. Like,
here, put it in front of my shirt, or do that.
You can see like this break right here that healed up at one point, which is very cool. You can see like wear on it here, and then like it's a knuckle for sure. So it's totally like the toe bone of like a seal or I don't know, a whale fin bone or something crazy.
The toe bone's connected to the.
Isn't that weird? I'm so curious. I've sent it to natural history museums to try to find out what it is, and you know, it's difficult to tell.
It's hard to say.
Oh, I'm super jealous, John. I hope you guys find trilobites. Trilobites are my favorite. It's one of the reasons why I love pill bugs so much. But that'll be very cool if you guys can find some stuff.
That would be cool. I still want to go out to that. What did he say? Shark Tooth Alley or something? In Anza-Borrego.
I know, right, Elizabeth? I love the fact that it's like so black like that. It's like super, super dark. But it's the only fossil that I have that is that black.
Fossils or gold. There's probably not a lot of gold in Oklahoma, but there could be.
Yeah, so just remember what he said. Just
Minerals.
depending on the rock around. So if it's a lot of granite around, you're not going to find stuff. But like limestone, sedimentary rocks, or what have it, in there most of the time. I don't think there's a lot of granite in Oklahoma, but that's what you're going to look for. Like clamshells, when I'm in Maine, I always look because they're like in slate, and like some of the, you'll find a rock that's like the whole thing is just clamshells that have broken off a bigger piece and tumbled in the ocean. This snail was a crazy find, this little snail that I found when I was walking, because it's just like, it's not in a rock. It just like was sitting on the ground and nobody picked it up. I'm like, look at this. This is the coolest fossil I've ever found. I've never found shark's teeth in Florida, though, the couple times I've been. Oh, yeah, red dirt.
I wonder what red dirt means. Just oil. That's good, too. If you find it on your property.
Find some oil.
You better get those mineral rights.
Did you see how I put my trilobite in this box right before we
I
went
did,
on?
to give it a nice
Isn't that fancy?
background, yeah. Although the picture was cutting it off a little bit. But
yeah. What's for dinner tonight, Cory? What did we have for dinner for last night?
We had pesto pasta with
did you take pictures of that?
yellow squash. No, we were so hungry.
I did.
Oh, I devoured it. I was just like, I can't even think about taking a picture
Picture
of this.
it. Penne pasta with pesto and the squash that Janine gave us.
And some spinach.
And spinach. Rusty red. I wonder if that's because it has a high iron content?
Probably iron, yeah.
Iron. How's that tequila drink, Cory?
It was all right. It went down pretty easily.
I actually just, when you said the red dirt, I visualized you guys wearing black clothes but having red, like, sediment upon you as you're digging for fossils.
I don't know what's for dinner. We have to go raid the fridge. We're getting low.
I was going to say there's not a whole lot out there.
There's space in the refrigerator right now.
It's weird. Because usually the past couple of months I've been having to like Tetris all the stuff in there.
It'll probably be more pasta or something to have to do with cheese.
Oh, I love cheese.
Tortillas and enchilada sauce.
I'm fine with you just making a bunch of cheese quesadilla because that's good.
I could make a quesadilla. We have black beans.
I might need 2 quesadillas. I worked today.
There is mac and cheese in there too.
Mac and cheese.
But it's only one box. One box of mac and cheese in this house feeds one person.
I have an idea. Make the mac and cheese and also make us cheese quesadillas.
No.
Why?
Because that just sounds gluttonous.
Yum.
We'll see.
Okay, I got a better idea. Make the mac and cheese, but then make some quesadillas with the mac and cheese in the quesadillas. With also some extra cheese.
Maybe.
That's a no.
That sounds gross.
Well, it's like the tuna quesadillas when I have those,
You'd have to like bake the macaroni and cheese to have it have a nice crust on it to be able to put inside and not have it squish all over the place.
So I make ramen burritos, right? Where I just make ramen and then roll it up in a tortilla.
Very well aware of your diet.
Ooh, a hot fudge shake for dinner. Yum.
Now that's what I wish we had. We don't have any fudge. In fact, we don't have. Well, we have a little bit of chocolate left.
We have 2 Oreos and 1 package of peanut butter cups. That's it. Gluttonous. Oh, I like appetizers for dinner. I'm all about having a macaroni and cheese quesadilla. Yum.
That was an anniversary. All right.
Are you going to move on to the gin and tonic one next?
Well, maybe. I'm kind of feeling all right, though. Maybe I'll save that for tomorrow.
Lies. Oh, I work tomorrow.
You do work tomorrow. What time do you have to be there?
Between 8 and 9. We're not sure yet. It's been real rough for me since Oh. Understandable, James.
Well, glad we could help.
Yum,
it has
Elizabeth.
been kind of a bummer out lately.
Yes, James, we completely understand. My brain has been a jumble with all of this stuff. But just stay strong. And good night. Thanks for watching.
Tater tots.
Ooh, tater tots.
Good night,
Did you
James.
dip the tater tots in the shake, Elizabeth? 'Cause yum. Ooh, now I want tater tots.
We don't have
inside
any
of the
more.
macaroni and
We don't
cheese
have any
quesadilla.
more. We're out.
Damn it, we never run out of tots.
We're out of almost everything. Yep. Store trip tomorrow.
Have fun. I gotta work.
All right, everyone. We're going to go scrounge for dinner.
Yep.
Love y'all.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Bretton, for being here.
Yes, thanks, Bretton.